Hey everybody. So today we're going to be talking about something me and Cameron made over at 98. So we're really excited about this one. It's called NEXT.js, and so basically in simple what it is it's a Next.js front end for a WordPress backend. So this is referred to as Headless WordPress. And so the reason we built this is we do a lot with WordPress, right? It's the most popular CMS on the web. Like a ton of sites are built on top of it. And so we wanted to have all of the SEO features and also the optimization features and speed features and just the ability of Next.js to be able to build apps on top of a WordPress CMS. So what we did is we built out this basically template library that will allow you to easily set up a WordPress backend with a Next.js front end and hit the ground running. And so we try to make it as simple as possible just to get started. And I just wanted to do a brief demo of how to set it up and how to get into it quickly. So if you go to wp.98.dev, you'll see a demo of it here. And easiest way to get started is obviously just this Vercel deploy button. So once you hit that, it will take you to your Vercel account and you'll be able to just set up the environment variables, which I'll show you here in a sec. And then you'll be live on the internet with your template, and then you can just start coding and designing your new website. But I want to show you kind of like the code and the back end of it. So if on GitHub, it's all open source. It's just a 98dev/nextwp. And so what we're going to do is we'll clone this down and I'll show you kind of how it's set up real quickly and how to get started. So I'm just going to clone using the GitHub CLI. Just clone NextWP. And then we'll go into our NextWP folder and I'm going to use my editor of choice cursor. And then you'll see there's an env example, and so you'll want to just copy that and then create a new file. Sorry, not folder. A new file called env.local. Sorry, having a hard time typing. Okay. Paste that in there, and then this is where we're going to put in our WordPress URL. So for this, I just have like a dummy site, a dummy WordPress site that I made with Camerin, and then I'm just going to copy this URL and then paste it inside of here. And then what this is doing, this WordPress host name, is it's allowing, so obviously from WordPress, like you'll receive images to your front end to load and to like part of blog posts, featured images, that type of thing. And so the reason we built this in this host name is because Next.js has an image optimization component that we use throughout here. And in order to use it for third-party images, you have to set up the domain. Like basically, you have to approve the domain that you're getting the images from to be able to be used with the image optimization. So that's all done in the config. You can see like we're pulling the env, and that's what's using that host name then is used as like, okay, Next.js, this is approved, like please optimize these images using the image component. And so I'm going to drop that in here, and you'll just get rid of like all the HTTPS and / and then because that's taken care of here, right? Okay, cool. So now we've got our env set up. That's literally it. What you do want to make sure is that in WordPress, you have the REST API enabled. I'll leave a link in description with a bit more content about that. But in general, the most important thing is just under permalinks to make sure that post name is selected as the structure. And then to make sure that nothing else is being blocked by the REST API. Nothing else is blocking the REST API. Okay, great. So now we can actually start our dev server here. So I'm going to open my terminal. Run pm-i to install our dependencies, and then run pm dev to get it started, and then we should be good to go on localhost. Great, so we're up and running. And we'll just quickly make sure the blog's working. Sweet, it's all pulling in. All the images are working nicely, and all the text is working nicely. Okay, great. So now that we've got that set up, like you're ready to hit the ground running. I just want to briefly go over kind of like the back end just to show you how it's working, and then some like advice on how to update it and make it yours specifically. So if you go into the repo, you can see within the app there's pages and posts, and those are the two like dynamic routes that are happening within the app. So pages, if you're not familiar with WordPress, in WordPress you can have posts, which is your basic blog post, and then you can also have pages. And it kicked me out here, but you saw that there's pages. So what pages are is it's literally like you can build out your own type of pages. And so this supports both pages and posts out of the box. It's just pretty easy. Like you don't need to change anything. And then within posts, it also supports like authors, categories, and tags, which are the basic, like the basic building blocks of WordPress. And then, so like we can just explore these pages real quick. So if we go to pages, I'll show you that. So this is an example page, literally just an image. This has more text, I believe. Yeah. So you can see like you can even embed, I just embedded a Spotify playlist here. You can embed things. You can put quotes in, everything like that is all taken care of for you. And then on the homepage, you can so we'll go back and check out authors. You can see like here's me as a fake author. But then what happens actually is instead of creating like a child page for each one of these, I'm just creating it just goes back and filters through on the main blog page using a URL parameter. So you can see like all these are written by me. And that's how both tags and categories are also built out, where it will just filter for you. So nice and easy there. And so all of this is being handled via the WordPress REST API. And you can see here within the lib that there is this WordPress.ts. And so this is where all of the functions for fetching data from the WordPress API are being handled. So this way, like you have full access, you have full control over these things. It's super simple. And all of these are actually typed as well. So they're type safe and ready to go. Here you can see what's available. And then this gives you access when you're working with the data. It's all type safe and available to you. So this also what I wanted to mention here is if you're more advanced in WordPress, you probably know about custom post types and like ACF, advanced custom fields. And so what we do is if we create a new custom post type, for instance, we want to create a portfolio data structure in our CMS, we can create a new custom post type called portfolio, add in all of the required fields using the basic WordPress fields as well as the advanced custom fields. And then what I do is I just set up new functions to hit whatever the new URL. So for instance, like post is the basic one, but if we made a portfolio custom post type, it'd be v2/portfolio, and that's where I'll hit that and get all the data for my new portfolio, and then I can easily work with any of these functions and just display my new post type on the front end. So that's kind of like how we set that up, and we try to make it as easy as possible for you to display like any custom post type that you can create. So that's how I'd recommend setting that up. And then other than that, it's pretty bare bones, right? It's the main components are it renders everything on the front end. It uses the REST API. It has a WordPress TS file, and that holds all of the functions for getting the data from WordPress. And then it has all the type safety for the WordPress functions. And so I built this using ShadCN, and then also something else that I built out called Craft. And so what Craft does is what you've noticed probably is it will automatically style all the HTML that's given to you from WordPress. It does everything from code to bullets to quotes and even inline styling and everything like that. And so how that's working is if you go into the components folder, there's a component called craft.tsx, and it looks like I haven't installed these, or I don't know why the error is happening, so ignore that. But it's all working, so that's good. But basically you'll pass in, like, these are components that you'll use throughout the app. So for instance, on the post dynamic route, I'm using the section and container, and then these are being passed into this layout has this main wrapping it. And so the main uses a combination of, here, let me just run this to make sure, and then reload the window so that hopefully the errors, there you go, errors went away. It was just being slow. The TypeScript was just being slow. Okay, great. So yeah, so I was saying the craft.tsx has these components, and then they're being used throughout the app. So what they do is the layout, the main is handling all the styling using Tailwind Pros, and so that makes it super easy to just drop in text and everything is styled already for you. And I'll do another video on Craft and more information about why I built that and what it does here coming up. So, but yeah, overview, that's pretty much it. Like another thing I've built in conjunction with Craft and this project is components.bridger.to. And you can just hit here. It's all open source as well. And then these are just literally components built using Shadsia and Tailwind and React. And you can just copy and paste them. You can view the code and copy and paste them into your repo. And then this, in conjunction with NEXT.js, you can build, websites super fast. And so what I also really like about this, just to wrap up, is it allows you to work on an existing WordPress site. So if you've got a client or you're working on a WordPress site in-house and you want to convert the front end to Next.js, you don't have to change anything on the WordPress backend. You just hook up your WordPress there using the env variables, and then you'll have all of the blogs up to date, they're ready for you to go. And yeah, last thing, this is all statically generated. So you can see within the layout, I've set let's see where it is, the revalidation to be every hour. You can change this to every week if you're not posting that much, every month, whatever, or make it less. And this will revalidate the dynamic routes. And they are statically generated. So we have, like, the largest WordPress we've built on top of this has 30,000 posts, and they're all statically generated and blazing fast, thanks to Next.js. And that's really why we love the Next.js Vercel combo for this type of thing, and for using it for programmatic SEO and that type of stuff. So yeah, I hope that was a good overview on how to get started. We tried to make it as simple as possible, but just, yeah, if you have any questions too, just feel free to open up a comment on GitHub or an issue and let us know. Thanks, guys. See you.